New nation goddess energy. Find just what you seek. A frequencies of elevation. Reach your highest frequency. She serving healing and education. Uplifting and motivating. Energy. New nation goddess. Hey, yo, check this. You are now tuned in to the Transcend Energy Podcast with your host, Brittany Walker. New episodes with Wealth and Wellness Wednesdays.
Happy Wealth and Wellness Wednesday. You have made it to the Transcend with Energy podcast, where I am your host, Brittany Walker, also known as New Nation Goddess. It is Wednesday, May 24th, 2023, and we are coming in with episode 4 of season 3, Learn How to Kick Cramps Ass. So we're going to be talking about the third frequency of elevation, which is optimal wellness. Now, you will hear people always talk about wellness that it's physical. People don't think about the emotional side, the mental side, the spiritual side, or even the financial side. So we like to hone in on all of them. The past few seasons, we've talked about different areas when it comes to optimal wellness. But for today's episode, we're actually going to hone in on one of our other organizations called Kick Cramps Ass LLC. It originally started off as a book. I'm going to show it into the camera. For those of you who are on YouTube and Spotify, it's NNG's formula to kick cramps ass. It is a blueprint to naturally get rid of menstrual cramps. So it started off as a book. It has now migrated into an actual organization where not only do we have the book, but we also sell we basically, make a long story short, we're achieving menstrual equity, combating period poverty, and achieving optimal womb wellness. Now, May 22nd through May 28th is considered period poverty week. May, that month, is actually considered menstruation month. And on Sunday, May 28th, is menstrual hygiene month. So all month we have been combating issues when it comes to menstrual health. And I thought this would be a great opportunity to highlight this book for this episode. So we're going to go ahead and get started. You know, we like to kick off each episode with the I am power statement. I representing inspiration, A representing affirmation, and M representing manifestation. And the I am power statement for today is, I am willing to try alternative techniques in order to achieve optimal wellness. Ashe. And so there it is. So you would probably think, well, maybe I'm a male. This does not relate to me, but it does. You have a mother. If you don't have, you have a mother, but if your mother is not still living, then you still have either a sister, a potential girlfriend, a future wife, even. You have coworkers, you have neighbors, you have best friends. So there are other women that are in your life. And then once you decide that you may even want to have kids, your daughter will go through menstruation. So it's not only important for those who menstruate to be privy to their womb wellness, but also our loved ones so they can support us during these times and have a better understanding of what we go through, why we go through the things that we go through, and why we may have the reactions to things that happen during that time frame. So I always like to let you guys know what I'm sipping on. So for today, I am sipping on the actual Cramp elixir that we make through NNG. Through Kick Cramps Ass. And I'm holding it up to the camera as well for those of you who are on Spotify or YouTube. But for those of you who are not, I will have the information in the description of the bio. But this tea has so many great benefits, guys. Over 20 healing agents included. We have hibiscus, red raspberry leaf, mugwort, nettles, chastetree berry, vervain, ashwagandha, ginger, turmeric, cinnamon. We have orange peel, lemon peel. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Calendula. So many great things. I don't know if I mentioned nettles. I think I did, but I'm going to say it again. Nettles. So many great things that are beneficial for the womb and for detoxing the body. So I'm going to go ahead and take a sip. And we actually have it included in our Chrysocolla tea infuser. So all the herbs are inside of that tea infuser. So that can be purchased on our Kick Cramps Ads website, which I'll have that in the information in the description of this bio. Now, if you happen to subscribe to our website to keep up with the latest news, events, and resources, you will get a discount coupon so that you can utilize on your first order. So something to consider. And we not only just sell the tea by itself, we also sell the tea infuser by itself, or we sell it as a bundle. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we are going to actually kick off by, I'm going to read the introduction. It's going to take a few minutes to get through it, but I just wanted to give you an understanding of what to expect in this book. I also want to read the back of the book and the dedication so you have a clear understanding of why this does not only cater to just those who menstruate, but the ones around us as well. So to all of our women out there, who else is tired of the shit that menstruation puts us through? Excruciating cramps, heavy bleeding, uterine health conditions, and PMS symptoms present themselves throughout the majority of our lives, month after month of no symptoms, with jaunting days would almost be too much like perfect or an unattainable dream. Manifest thoroughly enough and you shall receive. We are here to serve you with a formula that may decrease or eliminate your menstrual cramps if followed precisely. Let New Nation Goddess demonstrate how to kick cramps ass. And when I do volume 2, I definitely want to apologize to my LGBTQ plus community, especially being a lesbian and being a part of that community, not only to just all of our women out there, but to those who menstruate. I will be updating that because it's not just women who menstruate. So I do want to send my apologies for not having that corrected the first time that this book was released. All right, guys. So moving forward to the dedication, before we start reading the introduction, the dedication is to all the women tired of the shit that menstruation puts us through. Again, that's going to be changed to all of those who menstruate. Who else is tired of the shit that menstruation puts us through? This one is for you, goddess or god. Also to the gods supporting the women in their lives, lovers, mothers, sisters, or daughters, we appreciate you taking time to educate yourself to help heal us. I actually had an event on May 5th, and the first sale that I made of the day was I would say maybe I'll say late 20s to early 30s. And it was a male. And he came in and he wanted to learn more about the information. He said, "Hey, I'm going to just buy the book. Well, give me the bookmark. You know what? I'm going to just buy all this for my sister because my sister has heavy cramps and I think she would benefit from this." And that is the very reason why my dedication says what it says and why it is imperative that not only just those who menstruate, but the ones that people that we love have a better understanding of it as well. So in this book, guys, I am a scientist. So I am going to have statistics and quotes and things and references on the book, just FYI. So I will be reading that information as well. So you have a better understanding along with the real details and me being as human as possible for you to know that I'm just not a scientist and a nutritionist and a former biology professor just trying to shove this down your throat, that I'm actually a human that went through it as well and put myself through years of case studies to figure all of this out on how we can get rid of menstrual cramps and eliminate PMS symptoms. So, menstrual pain was reported by 84.1% of women, with 43.1% reporting that pain occurred during every period and 41% reporting that pain occurred during some periods. Grani G and his team back from 2012. If you have not heard it yet, your womb is divine. You must treat it with an abundance of care. That's what makes you powerful. It is the most sacred space you possess. It is up to you, Goddess, to nurture your womb and protect it from factors that will slowly destroy the essential part of a woman's health. Once you can grasp this concept, then you are on the golden route to achieving optimal health. I could hear the harps playing and the angels singing because at that very moment, I discovered what causes a cramp-free body. After suffering from a strenuous history of menstrual cycles, this has been one of my greatest accomplishments thus far. Years of detailed case studies, research, and analytics has led to the formula that relieves pain and inflammation from what some call code red. Death to dysmenorrhea. And for those of you who don't know, dysmenorrhea is heavy menstrual cramps, which is an actual diagnosis I was given during my teenage years. It is considered taboo to discuss our menstrual cycles at any age as a woman in our culture, but we are here to bust the gates wide open with normalizing the necessary discussions. Just to think, where will we all, where we my apologies. Just to think where we all would be if we had a blueprint on how to conquer dealing with this monthly madness labeled as menstruation. Not like the current average age of starting the menstrual cycle at 12 years old in the 1990s. I was 1 month away from turning 15 years old when my cycle started during my fifth period class of my freshman year of high school. After a traumatic sexual encounter, I started my first period within 24 hours and assumed the pain was from the incident. As the women in my family called it, I had encountered the hereditary curse, as I put up my quotation mark fingers for those of you who are not looking at the video on Spotify or YouTube. The hereditary curse of the menstrual cycle. I distinctly remembered my tea lady, that's my top lady, aka my mom, that is a term back in Texas, being out of town, and my brother, who was a freshman in college, walked to my best friend's house to get me some pads because he did not want to walk around the store with feminine hygiene products. I never understood that about young men because you cannot use any of the products. That helped for a bit, but being the daddy's girl that I am, I called Papa Bear before he was heading home from work. He literally walked in the house with several Walmart bags full of pads, tampons, panty liners, and Cramp medication with ibuprofen only. I'm allergic to acetaminophen, and the stronger pain relievers are acetaminophen based. Pain medications and heating pads were the answer for the next few years. At 21 years old, my OBGYN introduced the idea of birth control in order to, again, quotation mark fingers, regulate my cycle. I tried a few different forms of birth control and various doses because I kept experiencing adverse reactions, which added to the already heavy PMS symptoms. Throughout my 20s, I was diagnosed with various illnesses associated with both my physical and mental health. This led to being prescribed with multiple medications, all within a small time frame. In addition, I was in my young rebellious stage, so I was engaging in a lifestyle that was unhealthy and causing unbalanced chemical reactions, i.e., drugs, i.e., alcohol, i.e., staying up all night, i.e., boost of caffeine so I can live a party lifestyle. Now, at this point, I could not keep up with my cycle. As some months it would be 1 week and others it would be 14 days. While I may have cramped heavily for 5 days consecutively, 1 month with a light flow, the following month I would cramp heavily for 3 days with an extremely heavy flow. It was torture, and I began to dread each month because I had absolutely no control over my menstruation. Without having a synchronized schedule, I was not providing a warning when my cycle was starting, which also became frustrating. In 2011, I stopped taking birth control because I read an article about how there may have been an association with having trouble getting pregnant once you are ready to conceive with specific brands. Why is birth control, which has the potential to lead to infertility, be the only recommendation? Things to make you go, Researching this information in detail gave me vibes from when my ancestors were experimented on during slavery or the Tuskegee study. Feels like population control, but that is a different story for a different day. Eliminating birth control aided in easing some of my PMS symptoms, such as having a more consistent cycle of only 5 to 7 days each month and only cramping during the first 3 days. However, the pain and the flow were still hindering my day to day activities. I would plan my PTO, pay time off, around my cycle so that I could have the first 2 days to hibernate on the heating pad, take meds, and bundle up. Being allergic to acetaminophen did not leave many over the counter options that were strong enough to handle my tolerance. So the prescribed medication of 800 to 1,000 milligrams kept me lackadaisical. Therefore, I preferred not to work during these times. This went on for 6 years. A major life event was scheduled at the end of 2017, which led me to dropping some pounds. During the past few years, I gained an excessive amount of weight and was attempting different workout plans in order to meet my desired goal. I could not seem to gain any progress by losing 10 pounds here and there and then gaining it back instantly. 88 days before the event, What the Health on Netflix was recommended to me to gain some additional knowledge on different lifestyles. After the credits came to an end, I was flabbergasted, mouth wide open, and completely baffled at what I realistically had been consuming my entire life. That was August 13th, 2017, and my life changed forever as I transitioned to a vegan lifestyle cold turkey. I immediately threw everything away in my refrigerator and pantry that was not made from plants. The scientist in me began to record the various changes that I was making. In September 2017, I stopped taking medication for cramps and inflammation. Over the next year, I noticed drastic transformations with the lifestyle adjustments that had been made. I knew that I was onto something life changing, not only for myself, but for other women and individuals who menstruate who suffer from the same symptoms. I also returned to school and graduated with a Master of Science in Nutrition Education. By July 2019, I had experimented with different techniques, consistently notating and abiding by the factors that showcase significant improvements. Although I was 80% sure of how to eliminate menstrual cramps and decrease PMS symptoms, I would still fluctuate months where I would cramp for 1 or 2 days or I could not control my temperature, which led to excruciating convulsions. I had come this far and refused to give up on what truly can cause the body to get rid of these tiresome pains. Some of my favorite resources during this period were African Holistic Health by Lila Africa, May He Rest in Power, and Heal Thyself for Health and Longevity, and Sacred Woman by Queen Afua. The techniques presented in each literature further confirm multiple hypotheses I had formulated. Many holistic methodologies led to not only reversing cramps, but also preventing and eliminating other uterine health diagnoses, including PMS symptoms, endometriosis, fibroids, polycystic ovary syndrome, PCOS, and infertility. I decided to go on an alcohol cleanse and engage in a fitness challenge for 30 days. Although I had worked out since transitioning my diet, it was never a consistent routine that lasted longer than a 2 week period. I extended the alcohol cleanse to 52 days and then, after a 2 week period, eliminated alcohol from my diet completely. As for my physical activity, I worked my way up to exercising Monday through Friday at a minimum of 40 minutes per day. Then I incorporated additional changes to my nutrition, such as sea moss and decreasing junk vegan food with plant based items as a replacement. Just pause. Most people don't realize there's a difference between being vegan and being plant based. There's definitely a difference. Vegan means that you can consume no meat, no dairy, things of that sort, but you still consume a lot of junk food, a lot of things that have gluten in it, a lot of things that still contribute to like cholesterol and buildup of things in the body. A lot of chemicals and things are still added. So a lot of these like alternative meats like Beyond Meat, Impossible Meat are not the best for you. Plant-based means everything comes directly from the ground. It is an actual plant with no added chemicals or things to it that will still hinder your health. So to wrap up this chapter, after a couple of months of the new changes, my cramps diminished. Ecstatic was an understatement. Before I shared my remedies and tips, I wanted to ensure that this was a solid algorithm. I evaluated a significant amount of data over the next 1.5 years, and throughout this 5 year experiment, and still produced the same results. At that point, I knew it was time to share how others could kick cramps ass. So let's get into this kick ass formula. So again, this is the reference for today, guys, the Energies formula to kick cramps ass, a blueprint to naturally get rid of menstrual cramps. So we need to be mindful that our womb is the genesis of it all. We are able to procreate and to continue to procreate. So it is imperative that our wombs are taken care of and we are giving it the tender love and care that it desires. It is a life. There is a possibility of having a life of pain-free periods. There is a life of not having endometriosis, not having cysts, not having fibroids, being fertile. There is a life with all of this, of controlling your PMS symptoms, not having extreme hot flashes or cold flashes. Guys, stabilizing your mood, not having mood swings. There is a life of it and it feels so good. And I want to teach everybody how to live that life. But guess what? It's going to take patience. It's going to take sacrifice, discipline, getting rid of things that you are conditioned to. So unlearning to relearn things. You might say, like you heard me mention, the hereditary curse that my family talked about is really because I repeated the same cycles that my mom did, grandma, great grandma, because they were not cognizant to certain things. They didn't realize certain foods can lead to certain issues. They didn't realize certain products, i.e. pads, panty liners, toilet paper, things that you may be using that have chemicals on it that contribute to your uterine health. So we got to be mindful of that. My women of color, my Black melanated woman, you are the only living being that can produce every single ethnicity, every single hair color, every single eye color. We are powerful. Our wombs are powerful. If you research what the Ankh means, it is eternal life, is everlasting, ever evolving life, because we have the power to do that. And how are we going to be able to do that? By taking care of our wombs, by keeping our womb together, by having optimal wellness, not only our wombs, which will be a physical state, but our mental, emotional, spiritual states as well. The foods, the things that you put on your body will contribute to all of those factors. It is imperative to stay on top of those things. Show that love to yourself. Love yourself that much that you want your body to be healthy and whole, so that you can not only have life longevity, but make cognizant decisions, have a very peaceful and happy life, be wealthy. All of this contributes to it. So it is important. Now, many uterine health issues are derived from what we put in and on our bodies. If in the book, I have this quote. If you've been listening to my podcast the last few seasons, you have heard me say this quote before. A quote for myself is, what you put in and or on your body determines the real path to the fountain of youth. Guys, is what we are consuming. Do you know how many foods and how many things that we have in the United States that are banned in other countries? Thousands of ingredients and chemicals and toxins that we put into our foods, that we feel like it's okay to put into our foods and into our toiletries and our day-to-day products, that these chemicals are leading to the diseases that are conquering our country: the heart diseases, the cancers, the strokes, the diabetes, the Alzheimer's. All of these things are contributing to what we're putting in and on our body. And you will, doing your own research, you will learn that other countries do not have these problems. These problems are not as prevalent because they are not consuming and utilizing the same things we are. So we got to be mindful of those items. So those things are those things that affect or hinder your womb wellness are food. Research what food you're putting into your bodies, guys. The beverages. So the type of waters, all water's not good for you. There are a lot of waters that contain toxins and chemicals. Do your research. Alcohol. Alcohol is not your best friend, whether you want to believe it or not. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah, it helps you turn up. Yeah, it helps you to escape problems. But guess what? Once you're not drunk anymore, once you're sober, the problems are still there. Once I gave up alcohol, when I realized how much money I saved in a year from all the different happy hours every week, all the different brunches turning up every Saturday and Sunday, traveling, getting all inclusive drink packages when I travel, the amount of alcohol I kept in my house. Each time I went out to eat, I'm buying a minimum of 2 premium cocktails. I started saving thousands, guys, thousands. It was almost $10,000 the first year. And that is crazy to me. Things to be mindful of. You can use that money to build your business, to build your own wealth, to pay off your debt, to own property, to be free. Things to consider, guys. And then alcohol, although it does provide energy, it provides a lot of toxins and chemicals and unwanted sugar in the body that leads to other issues, i.e., imbalanced hormones in the brain and throughout the body. So it affects your mental health, it affects your emotional health, and it affects your physical health. Medications, whether medicinal, recreational, you got to be careful of pills and things that you are putting into your body. Western medicine is not what it is. If you go back to, I want to send a shout out to A Medical Apartheid, which is a book by Harriet A. Washington. She talks about how back when Western medicine became a thing, Western medicine practitioners was using herbs and remedies from the holistic Africans around that was healing their people. They were convincing the town that it was voodoo and witchcraft and having these people killed, but they were turning around and using those same techniques for themselves and their families so they can heal themselves, but then turn around and pushing Western medicine to their patients. Things to consider. Over time, a buildup of chemical in your body is going to have an effect. And then people have conditioned us to believe that we need medication to sustain, to keep chemical balances in your brain for mental health illnesses, to help you combat diabetes, to help you combat cancer, when realistically, we just got to pay attention to what we put in and on our body. And although you might be diagnosed with something, it takes you several years to get that diagnosis because it's the accumulation of those chemicals over time. But it's going to take you a significant amount of time to reverse those things. So don't be afraid that something is not reversing instantly. It might take a year, 2 years, 5 years, but time, patience, focus, and discipline will get you there. So be mindful. Other things that affect your uterine health is sexual partners. If you're having multiple sexual partners, if that's what you choose to do, nothing wrong with that. Live your best life, but practice a safe sexual life. Make sure that you're practicing positive hygienic practices. If a penis or a vagina has bacteria on it, let's say you've been working all day, and let's say you work outside. Okay, let's say this. Let's say you're a woman with a male sexual partner. Your male sexual partner is a construction worker. He's been outside working all day, fingernails dirty, funky, sweaty, whatever. He comes in the house, you see that he's glistening with sweat, and you want to jump all over him. But you got to think all that bacteria and everything is going into your body, and that affects your body over time. You might notice your pH balance get off. You might cramp a little bit more. Your flow may be a little bit different. Your blood color may be different. These things are affected by your sexual partners. Also, if you don't have sexual partners, but you're practicing using sexual toys or masturbation of some sort, your own fingers has an effect on your body. Your toys have an effect on your body. So you got to practice safe practices to avoid having issues with your uterine health. Even energies, toxic and negative energies affects your womb. It is important to cleanse and clean all of that out when you get rid of those people and remove them from your life. Your day-to-day energy, toxic energy from friends, family, coworkers, neighbors, things of that sort. You want to be mindful of those things. Those things actually hinder your womb. It festers around in your womb. Okay. So you heard us talk about chrysocolla on our book. We also have a crystal garnet bookmark that we sell. And garnet is a part of keeping your root chakra grounded. It helps with the flow and the inflammation of your blood and the pain that you experience in your body. So things like this, you want to be mindful of helping keeping that area cleansed. Your toiletries, we talked about toilet paper. Most people don't think, oh, well, I use this certain amount of toilet paper all these years because my mom used it and it's affordable. It's good for me. But a lot of toilet paper has chemicals. It's bleached. It has a lot of things that are not great for the body. So using it every single day over a significant amount of time can cause an imbalance in your body. For instance, I grew up on Charmin. That's my dad's thing. He said, I like soft tissue. When I wipe, I don't want nothing raw. I get it. But I learned that Charmin has a lot of chemicals and fragrances, parabens, things of that sort that are not good for the body. I know like Cottonelle. I can't use Cottonelle for nothing. If I go to somebody's house or go to a public place, I know when I use Cottonelle because my body instantly rejects it because of the chemicals that are in it. So you want to be mindful of those things. Your feminine hygiene. So whatever you're cleansing your vulva with, most people think that you're washing your vagina. No, your vagina is the actual hole. You do not go inside your hole and you clean it. You might use a yoni steam or something along those lines for that. However, your body naturally, your vagina naturally cleanses itself. That's why it's important to put proper nutrients and hydration into your body. But when you're washing your outside area, which is your vulva, it is important on whatever soap you're using down there. Even like if you're in the shower and you're the person that likes to shampoo and wash your hair and condition your hair and then shave and then take a shower, you got to account for that shampoo, that conditioner, and that shaving cream that even though it's rinsing through your body, it still has the availability to get into your vagina and have an effect. So we want to be mindful of those things. And then your household products, I'm sorry, we already said toilet paper, your paper towels, your dish detergent, your laundry detergent, things that you are using have an effect. So the things that you're washing your clothes with, those chemicals, bleach things over time gets to you. If you're not cleaning out your washing machine thoroughly after so many washes, those things start to accumulate in your body over time. So we want to be mindful of those things. All right, guys. So to recap for today, we did touch on the third frequency of elevation out of the 8, and it is optimal wellness. But we did hone in today on womb wellness and how those who menstruate can learn from it, and those that we love can help us and be more cognizant of what we go through. So again, guys, I converted this book into an actual organization called kickcrampsass.org. I will have that website in the description. You are able to subscribe. We have so many different products. We have different services as well. We have a podcast as well. We have menstrual therapy that we offer. We can come and do workshops and virtually for you or in person. So many opportunities that are there. Again, with me being a plant-based nutritionist, I am able to offer you menstrual therapy so we can develop a game plan to help you develop a regimen that works for you so you can have a better menstrual cycle journey. So excited about that. We actually have some events coming up with Kick Cramps as we mentioned this month. So many things going on. Menstruation month, period poverty week from May 22nd to May 28th. May 28th is actual menstrual hygiene day. So we will be having a workshop in Las Vegas, Nevada at Queen of Cultivation, a metaphysical store. So yes, you can come get your crystal on and all of that greatness, great energy, but we will be executing that workshop. We'll be having giveaways there so we can get books, products. You can win a menstrual therapy package, and that will be on May 28th. Shout out for again Menstrual Hygiene Day. We are an official partner for the Menstrual Hygiene Day organization. That is a global organization with over 910 organizations fighting to try to end period poverty and end the period stigma by the year 2030. So actively working with them. We also are an executive director, board member for Sober Black Girl Club. So we will be having a virtual event on June 6th, which happens to be the 1-year anniversary our book, NNG's Formula to Kick Cramps As was released. But I will be sober 3 years as of June 28th. So I will be speaking to their LGBTQ plus group about our book. We have a chapter here about alcoholism and talking to them about my sobriety and the steps that I have taken and how I could try to better serve them. So you could definitely tune into that. That is a virtual event. And then our next event we have is Dignified Menstruation that will be located in Los Angeles, California, where we will be hosting a workshop at the LA School of Comedy on Saturday, June 10th. And we will also be a vendor there, so you can come get a book signed. You can try to win some products as well. You can get your little mini lesson in on things. And then on Saturday, June 17th, we will be at the Las Vegas annual Juneteenth Festival with over 5,000 guests giving ample amounts of information and products and services for you. So we're so excited about it all. Be sure if you have any questions or concerns, you can comment to this episode. You can also like this podcast, share with others. Be sure to, if you are watching the video, you can like us and subscribe to our YouTube channel, our Spotify, or if you are listening to the audio, we are on other platforms such as Anchor, Amazon Music, Apple's podcast, and Google's podcast. Want to give a big shout out to J Jig Cicero for our banging intro. And we just want to send gratitude to all of you for tuning in for this wonderful Wealth and Wellness Wednesday, guys. Please, please, please have a positive, productive, and peaceful remainder of your day. And I hope that this information was beneficial to you. We'll be talking to you soon, guys. Peace.